Hi, welcome to BPM, Black Hoplites Podcast Media. With me, Al Stallion. I've got a very special guest today with me. Of course, all my guests are special.
Hi.
Miss Saunders.
Hi, everyone.
How you doing? Nice to have you join us here on the podcast.
I'm excited to be here. I'm doing really well. Lockdown is easing. The end's in sight, so I'm in a good mood.
Wait. Slow down a second. Slow down. Don't get everyone happy because, you know.
I know. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I didn't.
Mr. Johnson's talking, Mr. Johnson, he says, yeah, everyone's coming out. Everyone can go and drink and hug each other now, two people. But then he threw in quickly. The Indian variation is
backtrack. Oh, what can I say? All politicians are fickle, but I'm just holding on to that hope that it's all going to be over soon. So.
I believe firmly that this year it'll slow down a little bit over summer, like the flu does, and then by winter it'll be back, and then next year you'll see the end of it. I think this year we're still amongst the cat amongst the pigeons, I'm afraid. That's what I think.
Well, you never know. As long as I can go and have a drink in a pub, I'm all right.
That's your biggest worry.
That's it.
I'm trying to leave the planet, and you're worried about getting drink in a pub. Jesus. That's amazing. So, Harriet, tell us a little bit about yourself, obviously, because I guess people are thinking, who's this nice, attractive lady talking to this good-looking, African-American guy?
So, hi everyone, I'm Harriet Saunders. I work at the FSE Group and I work as a fund executive, and I work providing support to the investment managers, mainly helping them deliver the loans to businesses within the East and West Midlands. And we work as part of the Midlands Engine Investment Fund, delivering £42 million of loans to SMEs, businesses within the West and East Midlands. That's one hat that I wear. I'm also generally involved in supporting entrepreneurship and trying to particularly help Black entrepreneurs get a kind of equal and fair crack at the whip, I think is probably the right way to say it. So inclusion and diversity, I suppose, is the more pushy way to say things. So I'm really passionate about that. I sit on the board of the Black Pounds Project, and I quite frequently try and get involved just, in events in the community just to try and help boost the access and the inclusion. So those are my kind of things that I do. That's a little bit about me.
I lost you at the first sentence, man, but it doesn't I lost you. No, but okay, look, I heard the bit though, of course, luckily, that you help Black investors, like Black people, like obviously, and me, conveniently, happens to be a Black guy, who would have thought, and in need of money at the same time. So
that's it. So yeah, and to people listening as well, if you do have questions around funding specifically, or you're just not sure where to start or how to get going, I'm always more than happy to have that conversation and signpost you onto it, a couple of places, couple of ideas that may be of more help. So hit me up.
So that's where we're going to start. Wow, actually, no, I want to find out. I want to know why you got into the financial sector, actually, and then we're going to start to figure out.
Well, this is a brilliant question. So I thought, kind of when I was 18, 17, I thought, this is going to earn me a lot of money. This is a brilliant thing to get into, and there was no other reason apart from that, really. So I didn't really have an appreciation of some of the challenges that I would face, or really a clear pathway as to what I wanted. So I would, it is a great industry and there is a lot of opportunity, but I would say for people, thinking about trying to get into financial services, make sure you've got a good support network around you. So find people that have the jobs that you want, approach them on LinkedIn. You'd be amazed at how many people give their time for free just to kind of, give you a bit of career advice and guidance. And I would also look for, to start off working in companies that have established trading schemes, that have established routes to success for Black people, or for for younger people, whoever you are, but that there is an actual pathway in there, that you don't get stuck because they haven't perhaps thought about some of the challenges that more diverse employees might face, or what success looks like for more diverse employees. So that's kind of tip number 2. And the third thing really is, just trying to develop your soft skills and, developing your personal effectiveness. I would say that was my biggest challenge in my 20s. I didn't quite have that nailed down. Finance is great, but I just think that, try and be as proactive as you can in driving your own opportunity forward as well.
Yeah. You should, may I suggest you should have got into real estate?
I sound like I'm selling you.
well, not even that, but you would have made more money, I guess. I feel like real estate is where the money is. I don't know. Although finances, I don't know.
It's I don't know. I mean, what makes money anymore? What's a growth industry? Tech, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think people always try and project that they have more than they actually have in real terms. And I think people actually peel back the layers. Their life isn't quite as flash and lavish as they're making out on the gram. So.
But what about cryptocurrency?
I don't understand it, so I wouldn't touch it. So that's very simple for me.
This is not, there's 2 mistakes with that. First of all, I don't have my top on. I want to change. But second thing is crypto, I feel is the way forward, really. And I started crypto about 3 years ago. I'm not a billionaire or anything, or a millionaire, but I put just a little bit in what I could afford to lose. And I saw it blow up pretty good over the last couple of weeks, months. And I was like, whoa, I should have put more in. That's the only thing I regret now, is not putting.
But I think equally, the downside of that is, if it was just kind of experimental, did you put in as much as you could afford to lose at the time? You don't want to start putting your life savings into something that you're not 100% sure of the outcome of. I'm quite risk averse, so it's not for me, crypto, and I don't fully understand it. I've got to say, I'm in debt. That's good and solid. I understand that there are rules.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, well, may I suggest, as someone who's into finance, that you actually start getting familiar with cryptocurrency, because I feel like that's probably where society's heading.
Yes.
And by the way, because I gave you that tip, and I always tell my guests they're going to give you 20% cut, and because you've got 42 million to play, 42 billion or 42 million, I'll take 20%.
Fair enough.
It'll go into a trust fund, the Black Uplifts Trust Fund.
Yeah.
Help us grow faster, and get you out, of course, out there. So was it an easy decision as a woman to choose finance? Because finance is a male dominant world, I believe. Maybe not so much now, but back in the day.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And finance is a little bit behind the curve, I think, in terms of diversity, inclusion. When I first thought about going to finance, I have to admit, the idea that it might be more difficult for me being a Black woman didn't even enter my mind. And I think, to be honest, whilst superficially on the surface, things are better. There's more legislation. There are more schemes to boost, for example, Black grads. I think Accenture has a Black talent program. I think HSBC might have one. So there are more things coming into the fore. Fundamentally, I think the same challenges remain, but I think it's down to the individual. You can buy into the whole idea that, this is going to be so hard for me, and, I'm really going to be up against it. Or you can accept it and challenge it, move forward, drive your own opportunity. And that looks like holding people accountable for your training, making sure that you don't just sit there and wait for things to plop into your lap, because that's never going to happen. So really kind of driving that opportunity forward. People are willing to invest time normally. They will do things for free if they can see that you're hungry for it. It looks like, as well, building a network that can help and support you. And probably just shouting loudly about your abilities and what you want to do. And to be honest, that advice has got nothing to do with gender, race, anything. It's just about how to seize an opportunity, really. And I think, don't try and sort of over-labour yourself with the idea that it's going to be such a struggle, it's going to be so hard. You know what? If you want to do it, you can do it. And it's all about mindset.
Yeah. I'm planning to have around 100 million in 2 years. Oh man, you think it's possible?
I think it is possible. I think that if you've got a plan, I think if you're dedicated, you know what you're doing, you're going above and beyond, you're using your network. You know, why shouldn't you be able to do that? Why shouldn't you?
That's true. That's what I think. You know, because I picture my future being on the beach somewhere. You know,
you and me both.
Not spending none of the 100 million. You know, because I won't need to.
You know, just sitting there and watching it grow in your bank account.
Exactly. Or in cryptocurrency. Or losing, of course. It's a highly volatile market. Okay, so look, let's do a little scenario, obviously, because let's say I got an idea. I got a great idea. It's I don't know, let's say it's a podcasting idea, and let's say we call it Black Apocalypse. Now I'm like, okay, I got a podcast idea. I want to do like the stuff that I want to do, Black Apocalypse, for example, documentaries, you know, and stuff like this. I need some money.
Yeah.
Where do I start? What's the very first? Apart from the idea is there, so that's the first.
No, that's fine. I think a lot of people kind of rush the funding thing. Okay, so you've got an idea, you want money, great, but are you actually ready? So the first thing that I would say to somebody in that position is to make sure they get investment ready. So that means that you're taking ownership for what you need and your funding requirements. So the amount of money that you need. Being able to clearly articulate the purpose of the fund. So breaking it down on each item that you want to spend that funding on. So item by item, year by year, make it super clear so you know exactly what that money is going to be used for. And also being able to understand and articulate the impact that those funds will have on the business. So that's kind of, you know, the initial stage of getting that funding plan together before you even think about approaching investors. So get that together. The next thing is to challenge that plan. So, you know, thinking through the decisions that you've made and making sure that is it enough? You know, have you requested enough money to be able to meet your short, medium and long-term goals? You know, there's nothing to be afraid in asking for a large amount of money if that's what the business needs and you can demonstrate a need for it. It looks less credible to ask for less if the business is going to run out in 12 months' time, because it looks like you haven't thought through your decisions properly. So making a plan, challenging it. The third thing is information. So when you first do a funding application, you know, funders were going to ask for financial information. Now, the depth and scale of it varies depending on the type of product that you're trying to go for and the amount. So checking what's required. So is it just a cash flow forecast, or do you need a balance sheet? Do you need a P&L? And seeing if you've got the competence within yourself or the business to be able to prepare those to a professional standard. So making sure that you're presenting yourself to market in a quality way that makes you look credible, you know, that you've got a good business plan that really kind of nails what it is that you're about and what the funding opportunity is, and making sure that you've got robust models, assumptions, all that good stuff. So that's the kind of initial piece that you need to get ready. The next thing I would do would be to make sure that you're engaging with funders. So you think you've got your information, you think you're ready, well, go and start having some conversations with people then that are able to make this happen for you. So understanding what it is that they need, you know, kind of asking what the process is, how long it takes, you know, making sure that you're getting out there to market and, you know, you're, you know, putting noise there that, hey, I want funding, I want money. The other sort of thing to do would maybe be to think about taking some professional advice from people who understand going to market. So if this is your first time, you don't know really what to do, you know, would it be perhaps a good idea to consult an accountant, a corporate financier, you know, or maybe even just somebody in your network, or asking people in your network for somebody else who has gone through the funding process before. The main thing with all of this is just to try and latch on to as much support as you can so you learn from other people that have made the mistakes so you don't have to, you know, so take the frustration out of it for yourself. And then I think the next thing would be to understand exactly how your business plan is assessed. So when I get something in my inbox, I'm looking for 4 key pillars. the first one is vision. So what is it that business is trying to achieve? The second one is a plan. So have they actually got a clear plan that's, so it's lovely to have all these ideas, but how are you going to do it? What are the actions? How are they going to be delivered? So making sure that's super clear. Looking at the competence in the business. So, who have we got that can deliver this plan? And if there are any skill gaps, which is fine because, there's rarely a perfect business that I see, making sure that, the business is taking steps to correct, challenge any kind of weaknesses, any skill gaps that they see, and being upfront about that. And then the fourth thing is just how does the business measure progress? What kind of systems and processes and controls have they got in place? Because you see a lot of founders that are kind of wonderful dreamers, and actually they need to be held accountable to what it is that they're actually saying they're going to do. So that's always something that I have a look at. Like, who have you got that's going to keep you accountable and driving this business forward before you get too distracted with this another marvelous idea? So there's that. So so I think that kind of covers the investment readiness piece. Should I talk about what happens when you actually approach a funder?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not boring you with this.
Actually, no, before you carry on, you said something about an imperfect business. Not all businesses are not imperfect. So wait there.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as a perfect business. There's always going to be something in it that could be improved, could be better done, and to have that mindset as well, that mindset of continuous learning, continuous improvement, that's important. To sit and rest in your laurels means that a competitor is going to come and overtake you. So I think but the main thing is I was trying to kind of instill a bit of confidence into people that even if you think your business isn't in great shape, the important thing is that you're getting yourself out there and identifying those weaknesses and sort of putting some plans in place so that funder can see, hey, they've thought about that. I like that. I trust that they're going to be able to deliver this as they suggested in the plan.
Yeah, that's great. Because when you said imperfect business, I was thinking about Tesla. I don't know why Tesla came to mind. And I was thinking, this guy started off with PayPal, moved across a little bit more, started making cars. Now he's sending rockets to the moon or Mars, wherever. And then you said something about accountable. I'm wondering who holds this guy accountable for anything. Dude, you're doing too much. Perfect your car first. Then go to space.
Yeah. I don't know, isn't his mum quite close to him? I've seen she looks like what do they call him? A tiger mum. Who's they're kind of pushing their offspring. Yeah. Anyway, we digress. So we've talked about investment readiness. So then what to expect when you actually approach a funder. So I'll probably be talking about this more from my FSE perspective. That's where I work. So, I get an email in, somebody says to me, hey, Harriet, thinking about this. So first things first, let's get them on a scoping call. Let's kind of have a bit of a chat, talk to them about, what we do, and then open the floor up to them, tell us about the business. I mean, you've got to expect that funders will have already done a bit of homework, and so will probably have had a look at Companies House. They'll have looked on the internet, so they will know a little bit about what's going on. But it's your opportunity to put your own spin on that. And as much as you're investing in the business, you're investing in the person as well. So it's a chance to kind of showcase yourself. And then from that point on, so what I'm looking for at that in that call is somebody that knows how much money they want, that knows why they want it, how it's going to be spent. So all that investment readiness piece that I talked about, and somebody that's kind of serious and committed. We'll talk about the kind of information that we want to see, which is normally for us FSC, it's 3 years previous accounts, and then their financial forecast and model. So that's an integrated cash flow, balance sheet, and P&L. Not everybody has those, and not everybody sends them back in a particularly fantastic presentation, I would say. So I would heartily recommend, if you're not sure if you can do it, or you're just feeling a bit apprehensive about putting some of these things together, go and get some advice. Go to the Growth Hub if you're perhaps a smaller trader, or go and get an accountant if you're, a more medium-sized business, and get serious about it and get professional, because you've got it's about first impressions, isn't it? If you're handing over a load of information that's all wonky and the cell references are wrong, what does that say about how seriously you're taking this? So that's the first thing. The next thing is when I get the information in, I'll be looking to see, does the story that this normally very enthusiastic entrepreneur has told me, does that match what I'm actually seeing in the business plan and seeing in the financials? And are there any discrepancies? And, kind of that process, kind of talking through the numbers, talking through the story, that takes the bulk of the time really, and kind of just working out, what's going on with the business. And then I know I was just thinking that doesn't sound very good. What's going on with this? And then, I think also as well, just making sure that when you're approaching the funding, that you're looking at their criteria, and different funders have different criteria. So if you're going for a social investment, for example, they might want to see what kind of social impact you're delivering. For us, we're probably going to be more interested in looking at the sales traction. So just getting a good idea of what you need to reflect in the information that you provide. Now, I do have some bits and pieces that I can talk about when it comes to, debt funding, what we are specifically looking for. But I don't know if that might be too technical. I could just give a little overview.
Yeah, just shoot and we'll see what we understand. Any messages, I'll let you know. The guys don't understand it.
All right. So if you're looking for debt fundings, that's a loan. We'll be looking to see what the serviceability is like of that debt. So that basically means the amount of cash that's required to recover the repayment of interest and the particular debt for a period. See, what.
Sorry,
and can that business generate consistent and reliable profit? So there are 3 real steps that you can take to try and demonstrate serviceability. The first one is understanding your income stream and future-proofing that, and being able to provide granular detail around your revenue streams. The second one is building a kind of cash buffer and being able to demonstrate adequate working capital management. And the third one is managing your existing liabilities well. So it's all about how you're managing that cash in and out of the business. But, all of that kind of good detail and discussion will come out once you've submitted your financials and you're kind of really getting into it with the funder. So, that's a bit of a kind of walkthrough of what to expect and how to get prepared.
I think I'm going to say the same to you what I said to one of my previous guests. Sorry, I asked, man. You could have just said, just send a letter to us and we'll see if you pass.
I know. There's a lot to think about, but the easiest way to start it would be get involved with some business support services, go to your growth hub and just keep talking to your peers and try and learn from their experiences, because it sounds so much more difficult than it is. It's really just a business presentation, and it's just about relaying what it is that your business does that's so fantastic to somebody else so they can understand it. That's the crux of it.
Yeah, or get somebody to write it for you. That's probably
absolutely.
Like yourself. You've just employed yourself to Black Uplifts. I look forward. Monday morning, I want a fully written business plan on my desk. No, okay, so what are the payment? Do I have to pay someone like you to do all this stuff? Because it is a lot of work.
So, for me specifically, so when we provide our funding, there'll be an arrangement fee. So for FSC Group, it's fixed at 2.5% of the total facility, i.e. total loan value. It varies from funder to funder. So, there'll be arrangement fees. They might charge ongoing monitoring fees, i.e., for each year that you have that balance outstanding, there's a fee attached because, there's portfolio management costs. They'll explain why it is they charge it. But so that's the cost of taking out funding. For actual business support and getting someone to help you, the Growth Hub is free. So I would always recommend going there first. There's tons of free business support. So people like Enterprise Nation, Hatch, I think it's Hatch Business. Enterprise for Success, Enterprise Orchard, all of these amazing free services where you can go and, get the support. Where you'll have to pay is if you want to take specialist financial advice. So if you want to engage an accountant or a corporate financier. But, you'd be surprised what kind of people will do to help you for free. So it's always worth having a conversation, connecting with someone on LinkedIn, saying, look, this is what I'm trying to do. Could you spare me an hour of your time to help me? And follow it up with what you can do for them. Don't just come to someone with your hand out saying, okay, I've seen that you can do this. Maybe I can support you with this. That's the easiest way to kind of entice someone to helping you into doing things.
That's awesome. So going back to obviously our people, I'll call us the African Americans because everyone knows us as African Americans, so I might as well. Is it harder for us to get funding, or is it? I mean, because like if I walk in, okay, I'm not gonna walk in like this. I'm gonna wear a suit, but most of our people don't really, they don't lean towards that kind of style. Yeah. So if do I need to look a particular way, or would it look at me, or would it like prejudgments?
I think that there's a lot to do with kind of confidence, really, particularly amongst Black entrepreneurs in terms of reaching for opportunities. I wholeheartedly believe that there's no kind of barriers to opportunity to Black entrepreneurs going and applying for these funding packages to, whatever. The barriers aren't there in the application. I think most of the barriers come from lack of awareness as to what's out there in the community. I think a lack of confidence in being able to go and apply for those, I'm not going to get it, or, I'm not going to measure up, that kind of imposter syndrome. Yeah. And I think also that kind of lower aspirations, I think Black entrepreneurs need to increase their capacity to do more. So, reach for those bigger goals. Surround yourselves with people, not just in your own known network, people, that you haven't perhaps met that are doing well, that are doing things that you want to do, latch on to them. So I do genuinely believe that that there is no sort of problem in terms of when you go to access those services. I think most of the problems start with not knowing how or not having the confidence.
Yeah, so it's like inside, really. Like I remember when I was young, all I wanted to ever be when I was young was a bus driver. And I could not believe that that's all I wanted to do. I was like, and I have friends who wanted to be rocket scientists and, big jobs. And I was like, I want to be a bus driver. And I couldn't understand. I only realized that when I got older, and I was like, hold on a minute. That was the height of my aspirations, is to get a driving license, which everybody gets, and drive a bus for minimum wage.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important to connect with other Black entrepreneurs and open to other Black networks. So things like the Black Pound Project, which is a Midlands-based community interest company to help Black entrepreneurs, well, not Black entrepreneurs, diverse entrepreneurs, small business owners, help them get plugged into that business ecosystem. So use those Black business networks. Places like Be Global as well. They specialise in offering Black entrepreneurship support. So, elevate yourself, make sure that you're putting in the work, that you're, driving forward your opportunity, and you're taking ownership of it as well. But, it comes to the other sort of flip side is if you can't see anyone that's doing that, which I think is kind of what I alluded to when I first started in banking. I had no idea what I was doing, because I didn't know anyone who'd been in banking, but I knew I wanted to do it. But, finding those role models, and, they are slowly becoming more visible, and you will have greater access via kind of joining in with these Black business networks and whatnot. But seek them out for yourself, get on LinkedIn, go to some networking events, see who you can meet, keep pushing.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh no, I wanted to say something. Oh, you actually answered it. I was going to say, do you think the lack of like Black faces, for example, when you're going to the financial world, that probably really goes against us actually deciding that we're going to try and be a banker or a lawyer or a doctor? It doesn't have to just be, totally towards finance. It could be anything else. Police officers, you just don't see them. So you think, okay, I don't have a chance anyway, so why should I do that?
I agree, but I think that things are starting to improve, and I think that slowly, that people are starting to cotton on that there is a need for more Black role models outside of sport, outside of music.
Yeah.
And slowly we're starting to see some more emerging talent. But maybe the fact there aren't so many role models to people that are listening, maybe that could be you. Put yourself forward, make some noise, encourage other people, bring other people up with you, and collaborate.
That's what I try and do when I see, like, I remember when I was last time I was in are you from Birmingham? Yeah, when I was in Birmingham last time, I was in Sutton Coldfield, I think, and I saw a group of Black lads, and I went up to them and I said, "Yo, guys, so you at university?" It was like, "Yeah, we're at university." I was like, "So what's your plans? What you doing?" They're like, "We don't know." I was like, "How do you not know?" And that was like when I was young, and I remember being that age, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I was like, I can't believe that there's nobody behind these guys telling them, "Look, you want to make money, or you want to do something that's going to bring you a decent life. You should probably already looking in that direction. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a scientist or professor or something like this." That I think a lot of our youth are just kind of lost because we have, like we said, no role models to look up to. So
I agree. But I think it's also kind of that expectation of opportunity. What is it that you deserve, and elevating that bar for young people, So it's not just you go to uni and then what? It's about making sure that those pathways to success are in place, and that they know what they're capable of, and inspiring a bit of ambition beyond just ticking a box and completing education and then just finding a job. So but in terms of how to do that, it's just about using your networks and getting engaged and doing your own research about things that interest you, things that you might want to do, and reaching out to people. I mean, I think that's what I've had to do, and people respond, and it's a multiplier effect. Like you start doing some good over here, and people respond, and it grows.
I want to quickly have a look at this growth hub because I've never heard of it before.
Right, so the growth hubs, they're done by kind of local areas. So the one in Birmingham is called the Greater Birmingham and Solihull Local Enterprise Partnership Growth Hub.
Is that the name of it?
I know. Make it easy. Why don't you? But at the Growth Hub, so they have so many free events. So things like how to boost your marketing, things like import strategies, absolutely loads. And then you can also call them up and book an appointment with the business advisors. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. And they'll be able to talk you through how to solve your business dilemma, signpost you on. The one thing I would say with them, they are typically geared up for businesses that are 6 months or older. So six months, I don't think necessarily trading, but 6 months of incorporation. But just be super clear with them what it is you want, and I would like a solution to this, and just drive that opportunity yourself with them, and just be clear and direct.
I'm just trying to think, like, so you need basically a business plan.
Yeah,
I need to go to them with a business plan.
Yeah, and they should be able to help you. They should be able to book you in with a business advisor who will be able to schedule time for you to go through your business plan, and they should be able to help you get that to a standard that will be investment ready. That is one of the core things that they should do.
So what are the repayment options? So for example, I get 100 grand from them.
So they don't provide funding, they just provide business support.
Okay. So when I get funding, for example?
So funding, right. So I think they'll be able to signpost you on to funding. There is also a government website which I can share with you, which gives you a list of loads of business funders. People like me, I tend to know who's offering funding, connecting with people in the funding space. So that's how you go about finding funding. So Growth Hub, making sure that you're looking at the government portal, making sure that you're connecting with people in the funding space. So in terms of repayment, it all depends on who it is you go to. So they'll tell you what their maximum term is, so i.e. how long that loan how long you can pay that loan back for. I can't use my words for some reason. Some funders may offer capital repayment holidays. For example, we offer up to 6 months. So that means where you will have a break on paying back the capital part of the loan. So you're just paying interest, which helps you really bed in the funds without having to have such large payments. So you can really demonstrate some traction. What else can I tell you about repayments? I think that's probably it. So interest rates, they vary from lender to lender. I mean, the banks are always going to be the cheapest because they're the banks, but they want a certain profile of business. Probably someone that's more established, someone that has a good track record. You move across to us. We're a market gap funder, so we'll look at businesses that perhaps the banks wouldn't. They're a little bit more risky, but that means our interest rates are higher. And you kind of go creeping along the ladder until you get kind of credit cards at like 28% or something. So I know. But that's just funding. So debt funding. There is, of course, equity where you're giving up a share of your business, and there won't be necessarily anything to pay apart from arrangement and monitoring fees. But the cost is that you're giving up a bit of control of your business, and that equity provider will have a say in the business operation. So
I feel that's a good idea, though, if you give up a little bit of control to them, because then you're like, see, it's your fault you didn't make it.
I think it all depends, what stage your business is at, what your other funding options are, and how much you're prepared to give away for your business for the amount of money they're going to give you. If it's what you feel comfortable with, why wouldn't you do that? But it's up to you to have. It all goes back to that first stage of getting your investment ready, defining your funding plan, what it is you want, what you want to do with it, what your options are.
Okay. I'm just trying. Yeah, but you got to blame someone. If your business don't make it, it wasn't my fault. It was working before you got here.
Well, the one thing I would say is, if you're in a business, always get a good support network around you. So that might be a mentor. So have someone to keep you accountable, someone to keep checking in with. Not necessarily someone that you can pass the blame to, but somebody who might be able to spot some of the mistakes you're making before they blow up and things go seriously south. Or perhaps think about taking some non-executive directors on the board, seasoned business owners who can give you that professional steer and advice, perhaps in exchange for a nominal fee.
Okay, great. Let me see. Did I have any more questions? Do you have anything you want to add on to it? Actually, I'll let you have a bit of the floor. And if anything, that's key information for us to know, like for us people who are trying to.
Key information. I'm sure I've got something. So the one thing I would say to folks listening, in terms of just some tips for right now, if you're an entrepreneur. One, find a mentor, find someone to keep you accountable, someone to check in with, someone that's got more experience than you have, or perhaps has a skill that you don't have to, help boost your business and spot problems that you might not always have spotted. Number 2 is to set goals and, keep yourself, I keep using this phrase, keep yourself accountable, take ownership. But it's so important that you take it seriously and you don't just let things slide, or you just think, I'm going to do this next week, or whatever. Set goals, make sure they're timed, and keep checking in with yourself, keep checking with your business, because that's how you drive forward progress, right? You you keep yourself accountable. The third thing is to research your industry and make sure you're aware of what's going on in the market, and what your peers are doing, what the developments are. Don't just sort of sit in your own little bubble, a little silo, not aware of what's going on around you. Make sure that you're engaged with the business community and what's going on in the market as a whole. And probably my fourth tip is just really brush up on what it means to be professional and to be credible. So that's things like just developing your soft skills when you're speaking to people, the tone that you use in emails, turning up on time to meetings. You don't necessarily have to wear a suit and tie these days, but taking care in your appearance, that sort of stuff. It all builds to a bigger picture. So those are my sort of little takeaways, I suppose.
Actually, I want to give you a compliment. You've got you're very well spoken, which is not really important. But I just finished a course about social linguistics, and they were talking about obviously having received English, which you speak, and almost without an accent. So it was actually hard to tell that you're from Birmingham, but I just assumed. Actually, no, I had a tip off because I interviewed the Black Pound. God, I forgot his name. Yeah, exactly. CJ Webb.
Yeah.
And I told him I was happy to get you on.
Yeah.
See, that's one of this big issue, you know, when you don't speak, like a lot of people from the inner city of Birmingham, they've got kind of like, you know, this hybrid Jamaican style British English. In a nice way of putting it, you know, or the yam yams, you know, all these guys do, or like these guys, when they're going to an interview, people are automatically going to judge them and be like, I ain't giving him nothing because he can't even speak well.
But how dare somebody else make you feel like that for how you speak, you know? And if that's what they're on, that isn't what you want to be around. So you know, but I think it's all about kind of confidence and self-belief, and that doesn't come from you know, how you speak or, you know, how you sound. That comes from you being able to deliver what you have said that you are going to do. That is the fundamental bit of it for me. But you know, these days, I think that, you know, there are so many more opportunities opening up, and people want to hear from people in all different areas of life, you know, all different classes, all different statuses. And, you know, I think if somebody gets hung up over an accent or how someone kind of talks now, it kind of says a bit more about their like backwards mindset, you know. So
yeah, sure. All right. One more question, actually.
Yeah, go on.
How do you get the youth of today to be accountable? Because I think that's something that's left society. I think our generation, I think we're around the same age group, but like it's left since us. So how do you get them today to be like?
I think it's about kind of setting yourself up with a peer network of people that are doing the sorts of things that you in yourself believe that you want to do. You know, look at who's around you, because that kind of reflects who you are. So, you know, seeing who you're hanging around with, making sure that, you know, are these go-getters, are these people that, you know, I want to be like, that I'm proud to be associated with. So that's the first step in accountability for me. The second one is kind of sitting down and doing a bit of work with yourself and putting a bit of a plan in place as to what it is that you want to do, and thinking about how you are going to get there, and kind of thinking of some timed sort of measures, actions about how you're going to do this. And if you don't know, reach out to people like the Prince's Trust, which specialise in providing entrepreneurship and work help, for want of a better word, to people aged between 16 and 30. If you want an introduction to them, hit me up. I'm on LinkedIn, on my Instagram as well. You know, so checking in with people that can help you, to help you kind of drive forward. And I think the other part of being accountable is not to push yourself so hard, and to allow yourself time to learn and make mistakes and learn from them.
Yeah. That's one of the things I realize. A lot of people, they're scared to make mistakes. I noticed that with my daughter already. She's only 7 and she's so afraid of making a mistake. I'm like, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I was young, I probably was the same. Actually, I never wanted to be wrong. So I was like, I'd rather not say anything. You know, I think a lot of people have that, unless you was like one of these smart kids.
That is it. I mean, honestly, self-limiting thoughts and self-limiting beliefs, you know, you've told yourself no before you've even tried, and you're shooting yourself in the foot with that. You've got to, you know, go out there, and it doesn't matter if you get it wrong. The only thing that matters is that you tried. And the more you do things that you think, oh, I don't feel comfortable with this, the more you keep trying to do that, trust me, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
And you know, don't let your own self-limiting beliefs, don't let, you know, some negative person in your life that's told you some rubbish, don't let them hold you back.
Actually, saying that starts in school already. Actually, what I realized, you got negative teachers, and they tell you you're not going to do it, you're not going to make it. And especially if you was like us, you know, they already looked at us and said, all right, in the corner, Happened to me several times until I was like, I moved away from Birmingham. I went to rugby, and that was the first time where I felt all right because they didn't have as much experience with people like us, you know. So I guess they were kind of like, okay, give me a chance. But eventually, I just got put into the corner anyway, so it didn't really matter.
But you're here now. You're putting yourself out there. You're delivering an impactful message to people. So you know you've shaped your own destiny, and you haven't let whatever those idiots have said to you dominate and control your life.
Yeah. Oh, actually, what about musicians who come to you who need it? Like they come in. I need to make an album, man.
Creative entrepreneurs. I wouldn't say that it is I haven't really come across any, to be honest. But you know what? If there is someone, you know, creative entrepreneur, do, you know, drop me a message. I'll do my best to help and find support for you. They'd probably be better going after the grant route. So things like the Arts Council, who have programs especially for creative entrepreneurs, that's probably going to be the most appropriate, or looking at some social funding. So if you want to have a look at any of this, my business Instagram is Harriet for Business Growth, and on there I've got lists of social funders. I've got lists of who can fund your kind of regular, let's say regular business, but who can fund businesses. So there's a couple of lists on there, but yeah, creative entrepreneurs, Arts Council, Growth Hub, Nottingham Trent University Entrepreneurship Hub is amazing for helping people find funding, all different types of funding for different types of businesses. So that's what I would recommend for those people.
I was just about to give you the floor as well to give all your handles, but you already did.
So I'll say it again. It's Harriet for Business Growth. That's my Instagram. On LinkedIn, you can find me as Harriet Saunders. Those are the main two that I post on actively. Or drop me an email, which is harriet.saunders@thefsegroup.com. So get in touch with me.
Yeah, get in touch. I think I'm gonna have to write you. Actually, I need some help. But actually, I need help for marketing. No, that's the worst thing. It's like, okay, marketing, you're on your own. Am I on my own?
Well, I think that it's not my speciality, but I think probably the Growth Hub will be able to help you.
All right, I'm gonna go.
And I keep banging on about them, but they are good, honestly, especially the Birmingham one. They've got so much available. Or looking at something like Enterprise Nation, the FSB is also another good one to reach out to. The main thing is once you dip your toe in the pond of business support, you kind of, you know, people signpost you on to eventually get where you need to go. It might take a couple of interactions, but most people want to help. So that's where I'd start.
Okay, and last thing I'm going to say today, I actually tried for the Prince's Trust back in the day, and then they refused my application. Yeah.
Well, you know, if someone is interested in getting in touch with the Prince's Trust, I know the contacts there directly in the West Midlands. So, you know, let's. Well, yeah, and also I'd be interested to know if your application doesn't look right, then what steps can we help the individual take so it does look right? You know. I don't believe in no.
Yeah. Wait, do you have contacts in the Arts Council too? The Arts Council.
I don't, but I'm sure I could find someone. I'm sure. Right. I'm very persistent.
All right, Harriet Saunders, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I'm going to ask you to come back on the show in the near future because I think I'm going to have to listen to your knowledge and then try and process it. And I'm going to come back with some more questions.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us. And stay in touch, okay?
Bye. I will do. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.